What if I told you the mastermind behind the precision decapitation strikes in the Middle East wasn't a four-star general sitting in a Pentagon war room? It was the exact same AI chatbot you used yesterday to summarize a PDF. Claude. But here is the genuinely terrifying part. Just hours before the US military deployed Claude to orchestrate those airstrikes, the Pentagon had officially blacklisted its creator, Anthropic, banned them from the supply chain. This isn't some fringe conspiracy theory. This is the algorithmic slaughterhouse taking over the global weapons grid in real time. We've all been sold a childish illusion, a fairy tale that AI is just a neat little productivity hack for coding or generating images. Today, that mask comes off. The ultimate endgame of the AI arms race isn't enterprise SaaS. It is the multi-trillion-dollar military-industrial complex. Let's pull back the curtain and deconstruct the shadow war that just exploded between Silicon Valley and the Pentagon. Let's talk about Dario. He is the architect at the helm of Anthropic, and the only guy in this insane casino who actually tried to hit the brakes. If you know Anthropic, you know their entire brand is built on safety. So, when the Pentagon showed up with a blank check and a massive procurement order, Dario drew a hard line in the sand. Human in the loop. Translation? An AI can never, ever make the unilateral decision to pull the trigger. Handing over the kill switch to a machine opens a Pandora's box of indiscriminate slaughter. Dario demanded this red line be baked into the contract, in writing. The Pentagon's response? Pure arrogance. They offered a vague, non-committal throwaway line: "We will comply with the law." For Dario, a promise without a legally binding clause is just toilet paper. He walked away from the table. But you don't just walk away from the Pentagon. The system's retaliation was clinical and ruthless. They didn't just cancel the contract. They bypassed congressional oversight and explicitly shoved Anthropic onto a supply chain risk blacklist. It was a corporate execution. But here is the golden rule of capitalist feeding frenzies. If you leave your seat at the table, someone else is immediately going to eat your lunch. While Anthropic was bleeding out for its morals, OpenAI stepped in and aggressively scooped up a staggering $15 billion military contract. They didn't negotiate red lines. They handed the military a blank check. If you dig into the leaked contract details, it is genuinely chilling. It explicitly states, the Department of War may use the AI system for all lawful purposes. Do you see the fatal trap here? When the ultimate interpretation of lawful is handed directly to the military, who is left to guard the AI guardrails? OpenAI's PR spin on this was a masterclass in deflection. They claimed their models are entirely cloud deployed, with no edge device integration. The subtext? We're just the compute engine processing the data. We aren't the ones physically pulling the trigger. It is the ultimate moral outsourcing. In modern warfare, a frontline autonomous weapon without massive cloud compute is just a highly expensive paperweight. And to add insult to injury, OpenAI turned around and publicly trashed Anthropic in their own statement, claiming their rivals' safety guardrails were inadequate. When $15 billion hits the table, the moral high ground is instantly auctioned off to the highest bidder. But here is the most absurd, terrifying twist in this entire saga. The ultimate lesson in software lock-in. If the Pentagon officially blacklisted Anthropic, why was Claude still running the intelligence for those Middle Eastern airstrikes? Because they literally cannot unplug it. Claude has already embedded itself, like capillaries, deep into the US military's kill chain via the pilot platform. Isn't doing back-office spreadsheets. It is the active intelligence brain. Phase 1. Intelligence assessment. Ingesting satellite imagery and spy reports to spit out tactical insights in milliseconds. Phase 2. Target identification. Using multimodal reasoning to lock onto high-value targets. Phase 3. Combat simulation. instantly generating strike vectors and collateral risk assessments. The military realized something horrifying. Even if they wanted to forcefully rip Claude out of their servers, it would require a minimum 6-month transition period. The blacklist? It was entirely smoke and mirrors. We sit around debating when we should turn off the AI. But the dark truth is, the system is already totally dependent on it. If final safety red line is completely bulldozed, the next logical step is the algorithm deciding exactly who lives and who dies. Technology is never neutral. It inherits the will of its creators and the bottomless greed of its investors. In an era where algorithmic supremacy and state violence are perfectly intertwined, this invisible arms race has already reached a dead end. If you are still distracted by petty office politics, still thinking AI is just a cute toy to chat with, you are the retail bag holder. In this new jungle, the iron law of the 21st century is already written. If you don't have a seat at the table, you are definitely on the menu. Next time you open your phone to have an AI draft a simple email, take a second to realize something. That exact same underlying code, right at this very moment, is looking through a lens on the other side of the world, locking onto a target. This is underlying order. We'll break it down next time.